Leinster, 42 points to 10 winners over Benetton, folks. I just started my morning here in NZ with a couple of pieces of toast, a wee cup of coffee, and some URC. There was two games on, this one and the Cardiff against Glasgow match, but I figured I'd watch Leinster and Benetton. Leinster last week a little bit rusty, albeit with a bunch of big guys out away to Zebre. And Benetton were pretty good value, so I thought maybe this game will be a touch closer than what we expect. Not really. Not really. Dan Sheehan alone gets 4 tries in this one. We'll go through some of the key events and stats, and you guys can let us know your thoughts on this one. But, I mean, yeah, back at the RDS, good wee crowd there in the evening. Some guy got his beer knocked out of his hand pretty much within the first minute when a kick went into touch. I didn't see it, but the commentators said... somebody lost their beer. I'm not sure what the beers cost at the RDS, but certainly if that was Eden Park, that's an expensive mishap, unfortunately, for whoever that was. But I'm assuming it was a Leinster fan, was treated to some pretty decent action from their side, man. I mean, 4 minutes in, Benetton are a man down for pulling the man back. I think it was Jimmy O'Brien that was getting pulled back by one of the Benetton guys, and then Leinster were in no mood for any 3 points. You can see there's no penalties on this board. Every time they had a penalty, it was touch. And it wasn't just mauls, but there was a few mauls. The first try is Dan Sheehan, first of 4 on 6 minutes. It's a maul try. I mean, Doris had gone off, which was kind of unfortunate, and Stowers had to come on for Benetton as well. So there were a few kind of early changes, but I mean... 7 points to 0 early on in the yellow card. Pretty quick start from Leinster. Stowers though, I mean, I was talking a lot of good things about him during the just gone Super Rugby season where he played for Moana Pacifica. He was probably their best player, so he's going to be a great acquisition for Benetton, even if he was coming off the bench. Like I said, he got on pretty early, getting a penalty, winning a turnover on his own 22. Basically because Leinster were just, knocking on the door for huge periods. So 7 points during the yellow card for Benetton to concede is actually not too bad in the scheme of things. But it didn't take long for Leinster to get back into things. I mean, 15 minutes. It's a scrum penalty to Leinster. Again, they go for a line out. This time they don't maul it. They go off the back. And a couple of phases. Sheehan goes over. 14 points to 0. Good to see the line out variation. That was pretty much straight after the yellow card was done. I mean, Benetton on 21 did manage to get a scrum penalty and opt for a 3 when they were 14 points down. But at least they got them on the board. Because I guess nobody wants to get nilled. And you're potentially... looking at that kind of average, 14 points, yeah, it's fair enough. You're not totally dead and buried at 14 points down, but I mean, Leinster opt for the corner, 28 minutes. Sheehan gets his hat trick this time. It is another maul. Yeah, man, it's looking like it's going to be a really long day at the office. I mean, Benetton did have some ball. Second half of the first half, so that would be the second quarter mark. They go through 10 phases in Leinster's half, just going nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. They end up box kicking it because they're just not getting forward. The one thing I will say is that, I mean, they go in 21-3 at halftime. Benetton, and the stats will show it later, they could have lost by a lot more had they not been able to win so many turnovers, especially on their own line, and they did that right before halftime. So, I mean, the halftime stats, it's like Leinster have had 62% territory. The possession's like 50-50. But it's mostly been Leinster, boss in the game. Clean breaks is 3-1. Run meters is 228 to 146. The passes is 97 to 59. It's just that relentless quick game that Leinster play, eh? Second half, I mean, Van der Fleer gets a try. Ross Byrne with a nice pass. He's come on. Him and Lama kind of link up to make that one. So it's another try to the forwards. The backs are feeling starved for the action, I guess. I mean, there's Van der Fleer out on the wing as well. 28-3. Another maul try to Sheehan on 52, 35-3. It's becoming a pretty horrendous one. But, thankfully, from a Benetton point of view, the scoreboard does start to look better on 55 minutes when they get a scrum penalty. They get an attacking chance. 13 phases they go. And then Albanese supporting a nice quick pick and go. So it's a converted try for Benetton. They don't leave the game tryless. 35-10. I wrote the note. A little bit more respectable. But they still were to concede 40 when McGrath got the one on 71. They even had another one denied. I think it was Lucchese with the try-saver tackle on McGrath, who offloaded to Ringrose, who could have had a try for the backs. But the backs did get on the board through McGrath on 71. He was really busy, cramping up towards the end of the game. Pretty much played the entire 80. But, yeah, man, 42-10. Bit of a hiding. Like I said, any doubts about where Leinster were at after last week's performance away at Parma, yeah, no worries. 42-10. Possession 59-41. In the second half, it's 67-33 to Leinster. Dominant. Territory 71-29. Second half is 79-21. So just the second half, man. The Benetton guys pretty knackered. Run meters 493 to 269. Clean breaks 5-2. Although Benetton love an offload, they offload more times than Leinster despite having way less ball. 10 times to Leinster's 7. Turnovers 1 also. Like I said, key element. 10-4. Benetton's having 10. Obviously, they're doing a lot more defending, so a lot more chances to win turnovers. But if not for some of those turnovers, this game is easily 50, 60 points. So, yeah, that's a kind of small mercy for the Benetton boys. I mean, individuals... Jimmy O'Brien, couple of clean breaks, 60 metres, even if he can't get on the board. It wasn't a day for the backs. Ross Maloney, 13 from 13 tackles, proper workhorse. Mendy, the fullback for Benetton, looked dangerous. Beats 5 defenders, runs 75 metres. Halafihi wins 3 turnovers, 16 tackles from him. So another one, though, without that performance, it would have been a much worse day at the office. But, yeah, there you go, 42-10. Bit of a hiding, big bonus point win for Leinster. They are away to Ulster next, which should be a somewhat closer game. And then the Benetton boys will host the Scarlets back in Italy. So, yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts on this one. And, yeah, where do you reckon both these teams are at? Because, I mean, Leinster's 2 from 2. Mixed, but good to see some of their big guns back. Ringrose and Henshaw and Lama and, Byrne coming off the bench, Porter, all the big guns. And, yeah, Benetton now 1-1. But no shame in losing away to Leinster. You guys let us know your thoughts. Talk to you guys again soon. See you later.